Hello, today we are talking about precipitation. So you have two goals for this video, so take a second, pause, and write them down. So by the end of the time that we're done talking about precipitation, you should be able to tell me in detail how it reaches the ground and tell me how the different types of precipitation form. So, one down. All right, so precipitation in general forms in a cloud. And so clouds are usually super cold, less than 0 degrees Celsius. But the water is still existing as droplets in these clouds to some extent. Droplets and ice crystals, it's a mix. And so the droplets and ice crystals will coalesce or join together to make bigger droplets. Or bigger snowflakes, and then once they are too big for the cloud to hold or too heavy for the cloud to hold, they will then fall to the ground. And then what happens as they fall to the ground determines what type of precipitation they are. So we have 5 types of precipitation that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about rain, freezing rain, sleet, hail, and snow. So rain, the most simple one. Well, it's not the most simple one. Snow is the most simple one. But rain, so starts out as the big ice crystals in the cloud, the snow crystals in the cloud. It falls, as it falls through a warm portion of the atmosphere and then hits the warm ground. So that's how we get rain. So as it falls through the warm portion of the atmosphere and hits the warm ground, it's melting into the water droplets that we see as rain. Okay, and then we have freezing rain. So it starts off the same way as snow or ice crystals in the clouds. They get too heavy and they fall out. And then it falls through a warm atmosphere. So it melts into droplets. But when it hits the ground is cold and freezing. So the ground is 0 degrees Celsius or less, but the atmosphere is warmer. So when it hits the ground, it freezes into this nice layer of ice. We're very familiar with a nice layer of ice in North Carolina with our weather. And then sleet starts off in the cloud as snow and ice crystals. It falls through a portion of the atmosphere that is warm or greater than freezing. And so it melts into droplets. But then it falls through a portion of the atmosphere that's pretty thick that is below freezing. And so it freezes back into little ice pellets. And then it hits the ground as those little tiny ice pellets. So that's sleet. And then we have snow, which is the most simple of them. So snow starts as little ice crystals in the cloud, falls through a really cold atmosphere that's less than 0 degrees Celsius, and those ice crystals remain little ice crystals, and keeps the little nice snowflake form. And then we have hail. Hail only happens when we have thunderstorms. It can only form in those big cumulonimbus clouds that cause thunderstorms. So we have a little ice or water droplet that gets caught in an updraft, and it gets taken from the warmer part of the cloud in the lower atmosphere up into the higher part of the cloud where it's really cold. And so it freezes into a little ball, and then a downdraft will take it down to the bottom of the cloud again where it gets a little bit warmer, and so it adds a little bit of liquid water around that water droplet. And then updraft will pick it up again, and it freezes again, and then it goes down again, and picks up another layer of water, and up again, and freezes again, and down again, until it gets too heavy to fall, and then it falls as a ball of ice. Now, hail can be anywhere from, like, the same size as sleet, which is, like, really tiny, all the way to golf ball size or tennis ball size. The biggest one ever recorded was about that big, and that was in Bangladesh, I believe, in the 80s. But anyway, so if you cut a hailstone open, you can see inside the hailstone the different layers. So those are our 5 different types of precipitation. Again, to recap, we have rain, freezing rain, sleet, snow, and hail. Hail can only happen in thunderstorms. Snow, sleet, freezing rain happen in the wintertime when it's cold, because we need a cold atmosphere for those. All right, talk to you more about this in class.